Transportation Secretary nominee Shawn Duffy appearing before the Senate Commerce Committee for his confirmation hearing yesterday. He faced questions on highway safety, America's trust in the airline industry, and rebuilding infrastructure after Hurricane Helene. Watch.
If you spend 2 minutes with Senator Hagerty or me or Senator Tillis or Senator Budd, who's down here, you're going to hear us talk about Hurricane Helene and I-40 and the way that road has just been demolished right there on the North Carolina-Tennessee border. We need to know that this is going to be front and center with you so that we can get that interstate rebuilt and reopened.
If I'm confirmed, the first trip I would like to make is with the both of you to see the devastation, destruction, and the needs to rebuild your states.
What are some things we can do to overcome the delays that we're seeing on this road building?
I think it's going to take some work to streamline the process, but this is an emergency. Again, when we have communities that don't have connection because their roads have been washed away, I'll commit to you that I'll do everything in the power of the Department of Transportation to move the process forward as quickly as possible.
Joining me now is North Carolina Senator Ted Budd, a member of the Senate Armed Services Committee and the Senate Commerce, Science, and Transportation Committee. Senator, good to see you. Thanks very much for being here. And you questioned Duffy yesterday and Defense Secretary nominee Pete Hegseth on Tuesday. Give us your takeaways. Do you believe Republicans have the votes to confirm those two and all of Trump's nominees?
I believe we have the votes for all of Trump's nominees. And remember, the people voted for radical change with President Trump, and that's what we have with these nominees. They're strong, they're clear, and when you saw Pete Hegseth under relentless attack from the Democrats, some of them just became absolutely unhinged. And it shows that they didn't get the message on November 5th. But Pete was clear. He's an impressive individual. He's a decorated combat veteran. He loves his family. His wife was behind him. And then you look at Shawn Duffy, clear, focused, knows the emergencies are so important in Western North Carolina in rebuilding the roads and bridges and infrastructure. These people are focused, and they're actually going to do what the American people want us to do and what they want President Trump to do.
Earlier this week, you posted on X about dozens of Western North Carolinians still displaced by Hurricane Helene who were kicked out of their hotels even after FEMA extended the transitional housing shelter program to January 25th. You contacted FEMA leadership to identify the issues and get people back into hotels. Tell us more about this.
Yeah, we're working around the clock for these folks. I mean, it was January 11th in the middle of a snowstorm. They were getting kicked out by FEMA out of these temporary shelters. And we're saying this is absolutely ridiculous. So we got it extended. Then we extended it again into the Trump administration, January 25th. But they were still getting kicked out. The number one problem with FEMA is lack of communication. It's completely unclear. These people are going to be okay if we give them what they need in this short-term housing. But you can't kick them out in the middle of a snowstorm. This is absolutely ridiculous. President Trump and his nominees can't get here fast enough. We're going through, I got FEMA on the line late at night. We went through line by line, individuals, which hotel, which road, which address, what's their cell phone. And I was having them call them and getting them back into hotels and late at night. They shouldn't have had to go through this, but nonetheless, we're willing to work with them. Contact us if you know somebody that's having trouble. It's bud.senate.gov. Get on the phone with us. Let us know about these individual cases. We want to get them the shelter that they need.
Lee Carter.
You know, one of the things, Congressman, I'm so interested your take on the different treatment that your district is getting than California. And nothing against the people in California. They're going through what they're going through, but the amount of attention that they've gotten, the federal support that they've gotten seems to be such a contrast to what you're talking about, these people who can't stay in hotel rooms and the amount of attention that you've gotten. Let's talk about the broken system of FEMA and what we need to do to better support your community going forward. Can you talk at all about the different treatment there seems to be in different districts?
Yeah, my heart absolutely breaks for these individuals in California. I know individuals 1 or 2 degrees away, they're having to vacate their homes, so my heart is absolutely broken for them. But you think about the politicization of the Biden administration, and he's committed on his way out the door to dump billions and billions of dollars into something he's not even going to be around to administer. And then he barely even comes in to support Western North Carolina. It's like pulling teeth to get his support there. There's lack of clarity from FEMA. They tell people one thing, then they kick them out in the middle of a snowstorm. And these people, I mean, they weren't his voters, but they certainly are in a large propensity in California. And they've accumulated decades and decades of bad leadership that has led to something that could be controlled. But you can't control a hurricane in western North Carolina. You can't control a hurricane that dumps up to 40 inches of rain in the mountains. So it's absolutely different. One could have been prevented with good government. One could not. And we're going to get North Carolina back on track. And hopefully California will as well. But again, hopefully they'll realize the lesson of bad leadership over and over at a local and a state level.
Well, I mean, as Biden's walking out the door, he's got all of these new ideas. You know, I mean, putting 625 million acres off limits for oil drilling. Is he making these decisions? Who's making these decisions to make all these changes in the 11th hour as he's walking out the door, you think?
Well, we know it's certainly not him, but he was supposedly in charge for the last 4 years, but we haven't seen that to be true. But he's collected a lot of individuals that are either incompetent or have completely bad ideas, and they're just hurting the American people. They're very out of touch. That's why, overwhelmingly, popular vote, electoral vote, Donald Trump won. He brought in some great nominees. We can't get here fast enough. Monday at noon, can't get here fast enough. Plus, we got to get these nominees confirmed. They'll all get confirmed. They're great nominees. They're here to shake things up, and boy, do we need to.
All right, we'll leave it there. Senator, good to see you. We'll be watching your work. Senator Ted Budd, thank you.